just totaled my car today. It's tragic. If I would have just paid a little bit more attention and went a little bit slower, I probably would have been fine. But at least I'm still alive and life goes on. Another day, another YouTube video. And in today's video, I wanted to talk about the importance of healthy, I don't need two coats on, I'm inside right now. The importance of healthy organic food and how you can't make up for a lack of quality in your food. And I'll explain why. In fact, it won't take me long to explain it all. So yeah, I'm trying to get stronger. I'm trying to get healthier. Unfortunately, my health isn't really the greatest right now, and I'm trying to get healthier. So that's my goal. And one thing that I have right here is some raw pasture-raised egg yolk. Okay, pasture-raised. Why pasture-raised? Let's talk about it. Pasture-raised is the highest quality egg you can get. Oh, this also has hot sauce in it. Raw pasture-raised egg yolk with hot sauce. Pasture-raised is the highest quality you can get. And the reason, it's where the chickens roam free and stuff like that. And the reason why it's important to get the highest quality food that you can possibly get when you're eating food is because the soil that the food is grown in determines, and just the way the food was grown, determines the amount of nutrients that's in the food. Like, for example, think of a kid that's been abused, kind of like me, growing up. I was one of the smallest people in my class. So if you abuse a kid and don't give it the right resources, it might grow up weak, frail, with health issues. But if you give a kid all the right things it needs, it might grow up to be an NFL star. And so it's the same thing with food. When it comes to food, the way the food was raised affects the nutrients that's in the food. Now, why is this so important? Let's talk about it. One of the reasons why this is so important is because everything you eat has to be digested. So it's not like you're just getting free nutrients. Some foods you basically are. Some foods are so easy to digest. You basically are getting free nutrients. But regardless, your body still has to digest it. And so you can't just consume more of a food to make up for the lack of vitamins. That doesn't really work because now you're overtaxing your kidneys because you're drinking too much fluid. Now you're overtaxing your gut because you're consuming too much fiber. Now you're overtaxing your bloodstream because you're consuming too much volume of food, but you're not getting the right minerals that you need within that food. And so that can create an extra burden on the digestive system because you're not getting the proper amount of nutrients. Like, for example, one orange of today might have the vitamins that 20 oranges had back in the day that your grandma might have eaten. So when your body has to digest 20 oranges just to get the nutrient of one orange, you might have an intestinal blockage and end up in the hospital because all that fiber can clog you up. So that's what I'm saying is your body has to digest everything you eat. So you can't just eat more of it to make up for it because then you might overburden your kidneys with too much water because, for example, apples are high in water. So let's say your apple doesn't have enough vitamin C in it because it wasn't grown correctly. Okay, well, I'll just juice 4 apples then to get enough vitamin C. Okay, but do that every day for years at a time, and now you're consuming maybe too much water for your kidneys. You see what I'm saying? Because you're not getting the right minerals, so you're consuming more and more and more, but it's just overburdening your system. You see what I'm saying? So that's why anytime you eat something, in my opinion, it's important for that food to be as high quality as possible. And I'm not saying it always has to be perfect because I understand in today's world that not everyone has the access to the greatest food all the time. But all I'm saying is, it's good to try to do the best that you can, in my opinion, because if you think about it, we vote with our dollar. If everyone started buying healthier food, it would be more easily accessible for everyone because the grocery stores would start producing more of it because they know that that's what's going to sell. The problem is when the majority of consumers are buying junk food, it can make it harder to have access to healthy foods because now the grocery stores are like, oh, we got to make this junk food super cheap and accessible because that's what the majority of people are buying. But when it comes to the healthy food, it becomes more of a niche item. So they're like, okay, we'll charge more, because only the rich white people are going to buy this kale anyways. Or, only the personal trainers are going to buy these hemp seeds anyways. So we'll charge a bit more because it's a niche item. And that's not how it should be, guys. Healthy food should not be a niche item. You should be able to get a green juice for $2 for a big bottle, fresh squeezed, just like you can get a Coca-Cola. You should be able to get organic produce basically for free. If our government has enough tax money to fund war, which God forbid, no one should be getting killed in war, in my opinion. I pray for world peace. But what I'm saying is, if our tax money is going to that, I'm sure it could go to the right food and we could feed people for free and we could give people shelter for free. And hopefully we can get to a point where we don't have to fight at all. I pray that that happens right now because, imagine what kind of society we would live in if everyone's basic needs were taken care of and so they could focus on other things. Because a lot of people get caught up in unproductive activities just because they feel like they need to do it to pay the bills because that's how society is set up. Do you really think having all these fast food workers everywhere is productive for society? No. People just do it because those are the jobs that are available. And that's the problem, is the economy is set up in a way so that people are forced to do things that are actually unproductive just to survive, which isn't good. Because if you think about it, if every fast food chain was gone and it was replaced with like an organic community garden and you could just go pick grapes fresh, the world would probably be a better place, right? But no one has time to set that up because everyone is so focused on just scraping by. Everyone is so focused on just survival. And that's why it's so important to pay attention to the quality of our food, because nature is abundant. Apple trees just grow. Chickens just lay a bunch of eggs. You know what I mean? Nature is set up in a way so that there would be more than enough food for everyone if we took care of our environment properly. But the problem is a lot of people are doing activities that are contributing to the destruction of our environment, and a lot of it has to do with the way that the economy is set up. So if we were able to take care of people's basic needs without having them to pay for it, then people could actually do what they want. And I feel like we'd probably see a lot more productive stuff come out of society if we can get people out of survival mode. And that should be the government's responsibility at this point, in my opinion, because if we're paying them so much taxes, like, what is it going to? So if you're paying that much taxes on your paycheck, you shouldn't have to worry about food. You should be able to go to the community garden that the government funded the kids to plant. Maybe the kids have like a gardening class in school, and you should just be able to pick grapes and juice them. But these days, sometimes you have to spend damn near a fortune just to get a bag of grapes. And it's unfortunate, because imagine where society would be if all the people that were struggling were helped out. Because you don't know who is the next genius. Any of these homeless people that may even be committing crimes might low-key be a genius, but they may have just been forced into that position because no one was there to support them. So if we can help pull people out of these situations, we might have an inventor invent something new because now he finally has the time to start working on his craft. Imagine how many geniuses in society may or may not be being preoccupied with busy work just to pay the bills because of how the economy is set up. And imagine how much more time some of these people would have to create. And even if they weren't that productive, at least you could relax more. Doesn't that sound fun? More time to relax, socialize, you know what I mean? More time to connect with loved ones. So yeah, guys, the quality of the food we eat is very important, because the quality of the soil, in my opinion, is very important. And when I was in Ecuador, I saw people growing a permaculture village. It was called Fruit Haven, and they grew some of the best fruits. And it was a bunch of lazy hippies, and they barely were in shape. So it takes bare minimum effort to provide some of the most amazing foods. Chickens just lay eggs. Cows just produce raw milk. Apples just grow on a tree. So imagine if, as a society, we put our energy into tapping into the infinite abundance of nature instead of working against nature, cutting down the whole Amazon just to create a Big Mac. Imagine how much work that takes and how little nutrients you actually get out of it versus if we actually produced food in a sustainable way. All right? So that's the message of today's video, is that the quality of the food matters, and nothing can make up for proper quality food. And nature is abundant, and it's easy to grow high quality food. And we could easily feed everyone for free if we made human needs a basic universal birthright. Because it takes a village to raise a child. Not everyone is ready to have kids, and a lot of people have kids anyways. So we need systems in place to protect these children, so that if their family isn't well off enough, they can have the food they need. They can have the shelter they need. Because I went through a lot of trauma growing up, a lot of abuse growing up, and no one deserves that. So yeah, the quality of the food we eat matters. And in my opinion, the future of the planet depends on us humans creating the Garden of Eden, because we are the shepherds of this planet. And I think it is our responsibility as humans to create the Garden of Eden. That is just my opinion. What do you guys think? Comment below. Hope you enjoyed this video. Love you all. And until next one, I'm out. Peace.